Disclaimer: crypto investments are highly speculative and involve significant risk of loss. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Always do your own research and invest wisely.
Is it time for an EOS Foundation? Time stands still for no one, and history is complete with examples of this fact alone. The rises and falls of empires, kingdoms, organizations, institutions, and corporations, who failed to learn from their past mistakes, eventually were delegated to the waistband of history, and any brief examination of these events would conclude that, no matter how you look at it, any entity that does not learn from its mistakes is doomed to go extinct given enough time. In this video I will be going over a recent post I read by Yves La Rose called EOS Foundation and giving you my opinion on what I think about this proposal. Links to the source content will be below. Okay, now let's get started. To summarize and paraphrase, the post begins with, I've been working toward a goal of establishing an EOS Foundation to support the ecosystem's further development. EOS is confronted with many challenges and overcoming them will not be a simple job. EOS is in a condition that is comparable to exsanguination. It is clear to me that in its quest to achieve a desired level of decentralization, EOS omitted giving way to the growth of centralization, which brings about known benefits, such as efficiency and efficacy. It did so specifically in order to distinguish itself from the conventional systems that had given birth to the blockchain revolution in the first place. It has been successful in this respect. Balance, on the other hand, is required for a system to be anti-fragile. EOS is lacking a focused organization with a purpose that is fundamentally focused on helping developers, companies, and people to innovate on the EOS blockchain. A top-down appointed hierarchy responsible for the urgently required distribution of financing and coordination of resources, which is prevalent in other ecosystems, but is absent from EOS. After stepping down as CEO of EOS Nation, my days were more open, and I was free to spend my time as I saw appropriate. I've been reaching out to players in the ecosystem, and it has arisen from these discussions both a vision for the future and a strategy for bringing it to fruition. Some of the most important conversations have taken place with Dan Larimer, the man responsible for the creation and architecture of EOS. His guidance has been critical in ensuring that the foundation has the greatest possible chance of success and that it is headed in the correct way from the beginning, simplifying the path to the final objective. His advice and assistance are much appreciated on a continuous basis. Executing on this vision is something I am capable of doing, and it is something that I strongly think must be done in order to achieve success. I will be asking the block producers to show support for the foundation by increasing the inflation of the network by 2% for its use. At onset, the foundation will request the legacy name and RAM fees be placed under its stewardship, and on a periodical basis it will request transfers from the inflation savings account for ongoing operations. Through this stewardship, the foundation will be leading the mission that it has been assigned. Grants, sponsorships, and key infrastructure support will be at the core of this mission. I commit to the EOS community that I will move forward with humility and purpose to meet this moment in our shared history. I am truly honored by this call to service and will do my best each and every day to be worthy of it. Just my opinion, but I think this is a long-awaited and much-needed element within the EOS mainnet community. As this post alluded to, we all started the early days within EOS thinking that Block 1 would fulfill the role of community general, that would lead the way to our metaphorical promised land. But with hindsight usually comes clarity. We now know that while Block 1 is a great ally of the EOS mainnet community, they are ultimately a private company first, and thus the focus will always be on their primary business first and foremost. Sometimes this will have overlap with the needs and concerns of EOS mainnet, and other times it will be manifested in ways that do not serve the interest of EOS mainnet at all, which is why it is long past time that EOS mainnet had a centralized entity that existed to directly serve EOS mainnet interest. On the Bitcoin network, that entity is the Bitcoin Foundation. On the Ethereum network, that entity is the Ethereum Foundation. I think it's past time that EOS had its own foundation. I think Dan Larimer himself sums it up best when he stated in a recent post in support of this EOS Foundation idea, and I quote, "Many people have asked me to take on the role of the philosopher king, but I am more of a philosopher and technologist than an organizational operator. I prefer to be an advisor to the community and rule by influence and respect rather than position. In fact, I have intentionally designed Eden on EOS so that even popular demand cannot secure my or anyone else's incumbent position of power in the community. The EOS community needs a transitional leader to navigate the journey from stake-weighted decision-making toward fractal democracy, aka true democracy. There is one individual who has consistently been leading the consensus-building process on EOS, Yves La Rose, formerly of EOS Nation. He has taken it upon himself to lead a path forward for EOS and has committed to funding Eden communities while they grow. I believe that a temporary leader of the EOS community empowered by inflation and checked by transparency can help us navigate the complex decisions that need to be made to ensure the success of EOS. End quote. Yes, I completely agree with Dan Larimer. A transitional leader will help move things forward in the right direction, while at the same time allowing us to fully develop community governance within Eden on EOS and fully flesh out this dynamic process and get it ready for prime time. In this way we can have a plan of attack that addresses the concerns of the now, while at the same time planning for the future. This is the power of the EOS mainnet community. Though our detractors continuously tried to undermine and put us down, we continue to get back up and move forward, and this is what our naysayers fear the most about us. We are resilient, and as we continue to persevere and learn from our mistakes, it is only a matter of time before we as a community collectively rise to prominence. To all EOS holders, it's time for a foundation.
Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Also, if you would like to read, listen to, or watch more of this kind of content, please visit us at www.cryptoapologetics.com. See you next time. Take care.